and professionally presented, which means follow all these instructions and you will look so professional. Hi, I'm Shelby and I love Shakespeare, and as of today, this posting, it is exactly 1 month away from the deadline for the YoungArts Awards competition, 2023. I have a lot of students auditioning for it, and I was going through the requirements that they list for what these 2 contrasting monologues, 2 minutes and under, have to be. So I thought that I would walk you through what those requirements actually mean, in case you have any questions or it's hard to decipher, and help you with your YoungArts Award audition. And before we continue, please click the button to subscribe below to see even more audition info and advice, let alone some Shakespeare geeking out. I have been gone for a long time performing and directing Shakespeare, and I'm so excited to be back on this channel. So let's get started with the first audition that people might be preparing for right now. And here we go. Okay, here we go. YoungArts 2024 application requirements, which is so interesting because it's actually due October 13th, 2023, but that's because the awards will be given in 2024. Be sure to follow all requirements related to your application theater. Yes. Be sure to follow all requirements related to your application. Failure to comply with any of the requirements listed below may make your application ineligible for an award. So many people will be auditioning and applying for these awards and for BFA acting programs and BA programs. And so your job is to follow the rules as best you can, because it'll be just one extra thing that might put you out of the running. Even if you have this amazing talent, if it doesn't follow those requirements, you might not be seen. Okay, application requirements. Selection should demonstrate your versatility as an actor. Yes, you want to show that you're talented and that you're confident, but also I would push in here that you want to show your versatility as a person as well. You get 2 of these monologues to show different sides of yourself. It won't show every single thing that you are, but you have an opportunity to show them something about not only how you present normally in the world, but also what might surprise them about you. Each piece should be presented in character and performed in context of the show's plot, meaning this isn't like you doing a stand-up comedy piece. You are a character. And performed in the context of the show's plot means you should have read the play, and also you know what happens the moment before and the moment right after. So you don't just start, hi, I'm a person. It's knowing who you're talking to, knowing the given circumstances, the who, what, where, when, why of why you're speaking what you want, whether it's something that's kind of private or public, are you speaking to a group of people or just to one person, all of that. All audition submissions must be fully memorized. I know that probably sounds obvious, but I cannot tell you how many video submissions I have seen as a director where I can very obviously tell that someone has printed off their monologue, put it just to the side of their camera, their computer, whatever, and are reading it. Don't do that, first of all. But please know that we can tell if you're reading it. Not only do you want to do it fully memorized to show how much you really want this award, this college, to get into this program, whatever you're preparing an audition for, but also that you like acting. Acting is memorized. I will say, though, that memorization isn't acting. It's not, oh gosh, I memorized a thing, I'm an actor. That is such an early stage of what acting actually requires. So to be fully memorized is not the height or the peak of your performance. It's like step 2 after picking the piece. And there are 30 steps after that. If you're not fully memorized, then why are you doing this? Don't you want to act? Fully memorized also means that you're not thinking about the line. You're not thinking about what should I do with my body. You are inhabiting these words. They're in you. That's what fully memorized means. Not only you have retained the information of the dialogue, but it is inside of you so much that you're able to show your versatility as an actor and a person. When choosing material, we encourage you to showcase work that is meaningful to you rather than to the panelists. Yes, thank you for saying this. It is about authenticity of you. What do you want to show? What gives you joy to do? I've been given parts where I'm like, oh, I know how to execute this, but it doesn't really bring me joy. Then I get other parts and I'm like, nom, nom, nom. I cannot wait to do this, because the joy you feel in acting in general, but especially doing pieces that you love, is palpable. And that's what comes through the video, right? That is what people react to. Rather than, here's a list of good monologues by this good playwright and blah, 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 blah. And then you have to like ascend to that thing on a pedestal. No, a good monologue is one that resonates with you and that you connect to. So don't worry about what you think they want, because you will never know. Even if you know exactly who the panelists are, which I don't think you do in this situation, you will not know what that day will be meaningful to them. Do not care about anything about what other people do. This is the time you get to choose what you want to show and what you get to perform. So why not pick a little 2-minute piece that is a dream role of yours, personality that you never get to do elsewhere? That's what this opportunity gives you. Okay. So I'm going to focus on spoken only, because I can sing and I have some musical theater training and credits, but I am not a musical theater human. That is another YouTube channel. I do work a lot with people who are preparing full monologue packages in which a song is a part of it, and I'm very good at helping them make sure that that song shows yet another side rather than something that they've shown in their other monologues. And there's a huge value in talking through acting a song. It is acting, it's just plus that added level of bursting into song, just like classical pieces are acting with that added level of bursting into poetry. A lot of similarities there. So if you're doing musical theater for Young Arts, definitely still watch the rest of this, because I think it will be helpful, because you guys have to do 2 different song selections. Interesting. And a contemporary monologue. Okay, so this will still help you about the first bit. So spoken only. Applicants must submit 2 separate digital video recorded monologues for theater, not film. That has a lot of information in it, okay? 2 separate digital video recorded monologues, which means, unlike other places for college and things, sometimes they want 1 take of 2 monologues, which looks like this. Hi, I'm Shelby. Today I'll be doing piece 1 by playwright 1 and piece 2 by playwright 2. I go right into piece 1, finish. I go right into piece 2, finish, thank you. That's the progression. And most people want that all in 1 take, because they want to see the moment that you change live. They want to see that, rather than, I did this monologue 7 times and picked the best one, and then I did this monologue 7 times to pick the best one. Then that would be like cut between. Young Arts is saying, no, we want 2 separate files. For theater, not film, which means in a second they'll say they want it from a play. Do not do something from a TV show or from a movie. And really, for most programs, don't do anything from a film. Better to lean theater if you want to pursue theater. Include the following and in the following order. So, what I don't know, you upload to Young Arts if they say monologue 1, upload here. Monologue 2, upload here. I think that's what that means by digital video recorded monologues, 2 separate ones. But it also says in the following order. So does that mean that you actually put the first one in front and second? Once you get into the Young Arts application and it says upload, if there's 1 place to upload, what they want is for you to do an edit of you saying what these pieces are, the first one and the second one, and then being separate. But that's weird, right? I love how I'm like, I'm going to explain this, and then I'm like, this is confusing. 1 contemporary monologue, not to exceed 2 minutes, from a play, not a musical, written during or after the 1950s on. That's so much information. Okay, 1 contemporary monologue. It says 1950s to now. That is so much material. Sometimes they don't say a date, so this is really helpful of them to outline, because contemporary can mean a lot of different things to a lot of people. Some people, contemporary is the last 10, 15, 20 years. And I still think that that's the way to go, but they're allowing you to do something from the 1950s. The thing about doing something from the 1950s is that if you watch a movie that was made in the 1950s, they speak differently. Their vernacular, their vocabulary is differently. Their cadence, the musicality with which they speak is different. That doesn't necessarily ring contemporary to me. That is still stylized, which is what they want in the second monologue. So what I think about with contemporary pieces is, if you were doing that piece on the street, walking, and someone was walking by you, would they say, that sounds weird? Or would it sound like you were just having a conversation with your friend? So a contemporary piece to me is something quite recent in which you say your name, hi, this is my name, and here's what I'm going to do. That's you as an actor. It's you as a person. Then you go into your contemporary piece. It should be kind of a continuation of the person they just met in 10 seconds of you introducing your piece. Your contemporary is still you. So here's an example. Hi, I'm Shelby Lewis. This is Hold Me by Jules Pfeiffer. I talk too much. I'm quite bright, so it's interesting, but nevertheless, I talk too much, right? So that's the first line of a contemporary that I use a lot. I've used since high school, to be honest. It was still me. It's just me doing a monologue, and it shows something about me, but it wasn't like, whoa, they're so different. We want something that is in your vernacular, something that you would say. Not to exceed 2 minutes. Definitely has to be under 2 minutes. I know it says that, but 2 minutes is too long. Think about it this way. Even in YouTube, you make a decision whether you're going to watch this video or not in 20 seconds. That's as long as it takes for anybody to get the information that they want from a monologue. So I would keep it as close to 1 minute as possible. If it's under a minute, it's probably not enough time, unless your other one is very long, but I would keep it between a minute and a minute and a half. That is plenty of time for you to show what you want to show with this piece. It used to be around 2 minutes is what they would ask for, but then it would be 3 or 4 minute monologues, and you don't need that. It's gilding the lily. It's too long. Trust that you show what you need to show in an impactful way very quickly. Okay, from a play. So we've already said it can't be from a film, and then in parentheses it says not a musical. I have seen people do monologues from Footloose. Even if the book of a musical is written extremely well and it's a great monologue, why people don't want you to do something from a musical isn't saying that it's low art or anything. It's usually because they're like, read a freaking play. If you want to do this and you're serious about learning about acting, you should have read plays. And when someone does something from a monologue, when someone does a monologue from a musical, whether this is true or not, I think as a director, they were just in that musical at their high school. So to me, it feels lazy because of all of the incredible plays written in the last 30 years, you picked a musical. It shows that you have very little repertoire. And again, whether that's true or not, that's just what it shows. In order to be competitive in a competition like this, you want to show that you love and revere the art form of theater, which includes contemporary, straight, meaning non-musical plays. Okay, so that's contemporary. Got it. One classical monologue, not to exceed 2 minutes, from a play written before 1950. Okay, so before 1950 is a very long amount of time to choose from. If you've never done a classical monologue, I would do Shakespeare. Just do it. Look at my channel to get ideas. Just go for it. Even if you do it poorly, it's showing that you are brave enough. And Shakespeare, as I've mentioned before in other videos, writes for actors. He was an actor, if you believe that it's one person or not, right? If you're interested in that whole question, I have an authorship question interview with my mentor, and we talk all about like who actually wrote Shakespeare. But for this context, let's say it's one guy, he was an actor, and he wrote for a specific company of actors. Don't worry about the logistics of it, just pick a piece, get really clear about what you want to show that your contemporary piece doesn't show. So if your contemporary shows that you are strong, wants to right a wrong or something like that, a very strong kind of valiant thing, then you don't want your classical piece to do that. Let's show a softer side. If you say, I want a Shakespeare piece that shows a soft side, it narrows down the field a little bit. If for some reason you were like, oh my God, Shakespeare's terrifying, that's why I'm on this channel, like, please help me, I don't even know where to begin, that's okay. You don't have to do Shakespeare. Even this one says you can do Chekhov, Ibsen, Shaw, the Greek comedies and tragedies. Greek, if Shakespeare intimidates you because of the meter and the big words, Greek can be a little bit easier to read and understand, but it's very intense. It's just very large. You killed my brother. It's very, very big emotions. So you can go Greek, that's fine. Chekhov is interesting. Russian playwright, has very sad, very contemplative characters, very smart. Make sure you get a good translation of it. And a good translation just means it's something that you like. There are a lot of bad translations out there. It's originally in Russian, so it will always be a translation. They don't have this playwright listed, but it does say etc., so I am going to mention this, is a French playwright called Moliere, Moliere, but the first E has a little "mwah" on it. He writes in rhyming couplets. So like, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, that's a rhyming couplet. Every single thing of his rhymes. Originally written in French, so you also have to get a good translation of his, because they had to not only translate it, but then they had to make it rhyme in English. But that's one that isn't listed on the YoungArts requirements that maybe then a lot of people wouldn't do. You can't get into the trap of them sounding like a nursery rhyme. That's the hard part about Moliere, is to still keep it grounded, but that's another one that you could do. And then I love this little meep underneath that says gender roles can be fluid. So with Shakespeare, if you say, I want to do something soft, and then you've read Romeo and Juliet in class, in high school, which most do, maybe you're female identifying, and so you would maybe do a Juliet, but you really resonate with Romeo's softness of, but soft, what light through yonder window breaks, and that feels better. This says gender roles can be fluid. You don't have to pick a character of the gender that you either were born with or identify as currently. And I think that's really lovely that they specifically say that, so that you can feel free to pick whatever resonates with you the most. Total audition time for both monologues, not including introductions, should be approximately 4 minutes. If you keep them all between a minute and a minute 30, and Shakespeare especially, you can cut however you need. You have to do it intelligently, but that can be a little bit more pliable. Then the whole thing is 4 minutes long. Okay, I'm gonna skip musical theater. Then, guidelines for recording your audition. You're going to do a slate, and it says very clearly what the script is. My piece is from blank by blank in the role of blank. That's a lovely slate. I love that they give it to you so clearly. And you don't have to worry about the song. Keep the camera at eye level and have a fixed point of focus, not the camera. Which means you can look into the camera when you do your introduction. I'll do it from their script. My piece is from Hold Me by Jules Pfeiffer in the character of woman. And then you would do that. You would do your one piece, and then they want a separate file, and then they would do that. You can say that into the camera, and then when you start your monologue, in the role of woman. I talk too much. I'm quite bright, so it's interesting, but nevertheless, I talk too much. Yeah? So I look a little bit over. What you don't want to do is look all the way over here, because then I lose your face. So have it just be a little bit to the right or left, or slightly up. Sound, make sure there's no echo ambient noise. Before recording this, I turned off all my fans. That's probably why I'm glistening sweat. Lighting. Right now I'm sitting in front of a window, and that really is the best natural light, even for self-tapes for me in my Los Angeles auditions. And they say to do against a plain wall, like this. Boop, 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 right? And it doesn't have to be any color in particular or anything. It's just so that you're not distracted by anything. They're just seeing you, rather than like my master's degree, right? Because then if they have that to look at, then it's all this visual interest. No, I'm going to just keep it on me. And then while I'm here, framing. So framing for songs, don't worry about that. Monologue should be middle of chest to just above the head. So you don't want the head right in the middle like this, because then you look really short. You also, this says middle of chest, right? So it's gonna be here. And then you don't want your head cut off. You want a little bit above it, okay? And then you have a little bit of room to move and stuff like that. But this is what YoungArts wants. If you want to use this recording for all of your other auditions, you can do it a little bit farther back, and then you can make it a little bit closer, like where YoungArts wants, in editing. So that's a way to hack that. But again, you might do different recordings for everybody. Just in front of a window, see how glistening? But that same natural light is still hitting me way over here, yeah? And so that's all you really need. That has no selfie lights or anything. So don't make it too complicated, keep it easy, and it'll show you off really, really well. Okay, if using a phone, please position in a landscape mode, horizontal rather than portrait. So your phone, if you're recording like this, just make sure it's this way instead of up and down. That's it. That's what that means. Clothing. Wear clothing that's simple, comfortable, and not distracting. Doesn't have to be anything special, anything fancy. Again, it's that idea about doesn't want to be distracting. When they say simple, that usually means no patterns. And comfortable, you don't have to like zip into the tightest thing you've ever worn ever. I think it's helpful if it's well-fitting and shows your body type, but it doesn't have to be like you're bursting out of it or anything. We just want to see what you look like. And especially with YoungArts wanting chest up, they just want to see this part. They just want to see your face. So nice. Where something has a gentle contrast to the backdrop and will help see you clearly. This is because sometimes people have a white background and they wear white clothes, and then if they have very light skin color, it washes them out. That's why I actually picked this weird purple, because it works really well for self-tapes. It's kind of a version of gray, but a little more playful like I am. I've never seen anyone else with a purple wall, but that was just what gave me joy. Okay, so the last little bit, media submission requirements. After you've recorded your pieces, please review for picture and sound quality. This also may seem very obvious, but here's what happens. You will have a leg up if you just rewatch your stuff. Me, I'm a person who rewatches things a jillion times, so this is like very obvious to me, but I have heard some people like in voiceover recording auditions, agents are like, they didn't even listen back. They just record and send it to me. I'm like, that's insane. So just make sure you rewatch it. I don't know how you couldn't, but make sure that you or someone else who knows these requirements looks it over before you submit it for a national competition or college submission. Okay? If that's not obvious, it is now. When uploading, verify that image is upright, not sideways, and plays smoothly. So this is confusing because they've just said, put your phone horizontally, right? Not up and down. Then it says, make sure that the image is upright. That does not mean that the image is up here. They're saying sometimes they get a video file and it's been uploaded in a weird way so that the file actually looks like I'm sideways. So just, again, make sure that you watch it and that whatever editing software you're using, most people use iMovie. I actually find that really confusing. I found something called Shotcut, and it's what I do all my YouTube videos on. It's free, it's downloadable. It works with my Mac, and I'm sure it works with Windows as well. But to me, it's like even more user-friendly, and it's free. So it does not have to be complicated, but just make sure that you recorded it like this, and it stays that way in the upload. Save your name and files with their titles and upload each selection as a separate video file. So YoungArts wants, this is a piece from this, by this, in the character of this. You do your piece, that's the whole video file. They want one of those and then another one of those. That's what they want. Do not put your name or any identifying information on your media submission. Interesting. So save and name your files with the titles. So the file would be, if I'm Shelby Lewis doing Hold Me by Jules Pfeiffer, I would, from this, I wish they would give it a little bit more clearly, but I would put Hold Me Monologue. And I think just that, because they don't want your name on it. Space is provided on your application. So on your application, it'll say title of play, Hold Me, playwright Jules Pfeiffer, role character woman, because she doesn't have a name in it. And that'll be in your actual typed application. But on the file name, they're not really giving you anything very specific to put on it. But I would put title, playwright, role. So maybe Hold Me dash Jules Pfeiffer dash woman, or Hold Me by Jules Pfeiffer dash woman. Something that has all three of those pieces of information, because that's the information they have told you that they want in multiple places. So that would be my best guess for the file name, but not your name, because they've explicitly said that. Please do not do any of the following that may disqualify you. Do not edit within a piece. They want 2 separate files, one of each speech, but from the time you say your name and you do your piece, no quick edit. It's just, hi, I'm doing this from this in the character of this. Look away. I'm doing the monologue. End. Do not use special effects, dissolves, fades, or wipes. Keep it simple. Don't put your name up there, anything. Just keep it simple. Do not submit pre-recorded live performances. This is for YoungArts. Let it be just for this. Okay? Reviewers and panel are looking for, we're almost done. Material that is fully memorized. We talked about that. Thoughtfully prepared. Something that's authentic to you and that obviously shows that you have prepared accordingly. Not just memorizing, but thinking about what your character wants, what happened right before you started speaking that made you speak this monologue, where your character's going afterwards, what you want to show within it, what dynamics are there. Maybe you start out happy because your character has hope to get what they want from the other character that they're speaking to. And by the end, they know it's a lost cause. What's the journey of the piece? So thoughtfully prepared means text work. And if you don't know exactly what that phrase means, that's okay, but that's what they're looking for. So just make sure to ask yourself those very easy 5 questions. Who, what, where, when, why? Who am I? What do I want? Where am I? Am I in a house? Am I in a field? When? Is this the 1950s or is it today? Who, what, where, when, and then why? Why am I speaking? What do I want? What do I tangibly want from this other person? And professionally presented. Follow all these instructions and you will look so professional. You'll be so proud of your submission. All of this, along with your ability to connect to a character, demonstrates a commitment to the craft as you begin to prepare for a career in the field. That's why I recommend everyone doing YoungArts, whether you are a senior in high school or not. Probably ideal if you do it the year before, because this is an excellent way to prepare you for your auditions. If you go the BFA acting route, or even BA, or maybe you're double majoring or minoring, or maybe you're not doing acting at all in college, but you're doing summer programs. There are so many places that require these 2 contrasting monologues, 2 minutes and under, as a submission. And so the earlier you can do this, the more professional and thoughtfully you can do this, the better you'll get at it. And then you'll be in LA, or New York, or Chicago as a professional actor eventually, and you'll be like, self-tapes, do them all the time, because that really is what the industry is now, is a lot of self-tapes. Performance-ready pieces that can stand on their own. It can go straight from the video to, I'm performing it on the stage, owning it, total confidence. And then last, creativity and openness are qualities we look for in consideration for award winners with distinction. We want to get a sense of who you are in the pieces. Last thing to say, the most important thing is that you connect to these pieces. You cannot wait to perform them, because that joy and that passion for acting will be palpable, and that it shows a part of you. One should show a part of what they probably assume about you, even just from your little slate, your introduction. And I think the second piece and the opportunity for that is to show something that surprises them. They feel like they know you in that first minute and a half of seeing you, and then you show them, I also have this side of me. So I hope this helps. Thank you again for being here. Comment below of any other questions you may have. Make sure to subscribe and like this so that more people that are preparing for the YoungArts National Award Competition are able to find this and I can help them out. I'm also a private coach, so if you're interested in working with me directly on this audition or any others, check out bigboldchoices.com. That's what I call my coaching business, because I'm saying that all the time to students. Make a bigger, bolder choice. Let's go. And I'll put the link in the description below as well. Thank you so much. Anon.